Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and today I have my buys and buys. So this is the video where I go over my empties and my haul. I also go over my beauty budget. So if you are interested in seeing what I was able to use up, which sneak peek, this bucket is full. If you want to see what I used up in the month of March and also what I brought into my collection and how I'm doing on my spending, make sure to stick around because we are going to get into this bucket. It's a shame that I don't zoom out a little bit today because this is not just a regular black t-shirt. This shirt actually says, says potatoes, mash and boil and put them in a stew.
Potatoes.
So, little reference to the Lord of the Rings. This is a shirt my husband got me, so this is his sense of humor, but I am here for it, and I'm also here for potatoes. So, but we usually go ahead and we get into my buys, which is my empties, which I keep forgetting to mention, but I always do have her link down below. I got the idea for this video from another YouTuber. Her name is Anne. Like I said, I always have her link down below. I actually just watched her buys and buys this morning, so I thank her so much for the inspiration to this. But like I said, we have a huge bucket of empties, so we need to just get into this. And if you guys are new, hello, welcome, subscribe, do all those things. But I keep my trash in this popcorn bucket, which is from a trash movie, which we do not name, but that is why I keep this around for my trash can. But like I said, this thing is overflowing. So let me go ahead. I'm going to take everything out of the bucket and get it laid out on my table into categories, and we will go through these empties. All right, I got everything split up into categories, and I do also have one declutter. So let me go ahead and do the smallest category with the biggest items, which is going to be hair care and body care. I did end up using up, and it has a little bit left in there, so I'll be able to I'll empty that out and I'll use that on my body after I am done filming. But this is body oil. This is from Up and Up, which is the Target brand. This is a kind of generic brand for the Neutrogena body oil, but I couldn't find the unscented one. And so this is the one that has the really like floral fragrance and floral powdery. If you think about what your grandmother smells like, this is what your grandmother smells like. Nothing against grandmothers, but I want to find an unscented one, or I want to find a body oil that maybe smells like coconut. I like tropical kind of fruity type of smells. So if you guys have recommendations for some body oil, I really enjoyed body oil as I was getting through this. Like, I got in the habit of putting on body oil almost every single night. So if you guys have recommendation for relatively inexpensive body oils, but that actually have some nice fragrance, let me know down below what your recommendations are. But if I can find the unscented version of this and maybe add like an essential oil to it to make it smell good, I might end up doing that. But I really got into body oil while using that up. And then my hair care empty is this big one. So this is the Ava NYC Therapy Sessions hair mask, and this is kind of my holy grail conditioner. I only wash my hair once or twice a week, and so I do use a hair mask every single time I wash my hair, just because, I mean, better than using conditioner. I'm getting that extra hydration. I love this. I do have, which I think it was Andy who reached out to me and let me know that this was on sale half price during the Ulta semi-annual sale. And she's like, hey, I know it's your favorite. Pick it up if you want to. But I'm working through 2 hair masks from Shea Moisture. I know Ava NYC will go on sale and I can use coupons for this at Ulta also. So I'm not rushing out to get one of these again until I am near the end of using up my Shea Moisture ones. But this is my Holy Grail hair mask, and if you guys want proof of empty, there you go. She is scraped clean. So I love this. It also smells excellent. So this is always a repurchase. I'm actually really excited about there being that little bit of body oil left in there. I'm looking forward because, like I said, I'm totally out, so I have no more body oil. But let's go into skincare empties. So the biggest one I have here, and it's reflective and it has my fingerprints all over it, but it's one of my Clinique Take the Day Off bombs. This is the jumbo size. I did find two of these at Marshall's last year for $30 each. I have not been able to find any since, and I'm working through another tub right now, so I really hope that I find some more jumbos at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, or I will have to see what kind of sales Clinique has throughout the year. This was not part of Ulta's sale, but again, I scraped this thing all the way clean. This is my holy grail makeup remover along with the ColourPop BFD cleansing oil. These are my two favorite first cleanses, and so I don't want to pay for this full price, but I know Clinique always has sales also, but Holy Grail, always repurchase it. Glad I found two of these last year on a deep discount. Another thing that I ended up picking up at like TJ Maxx or Marshall's is a moisturizer from Shiseido. This is the Washu moisturizer, and I tried a mini size of this a long time ago, and so when I saw this at TJ Maxx, I picked it up. This is gone. This is the moisturizer that I was using through like February and March. I got this used up. It was a beautiful gel moisturizer, and actually there's still some in the top here. Oh, there's quite a bit in the top. All right, I'm gonna pull this back out and use it again. And actually my hands are kind of dry right now, but it is just a beautiful gel moisturizer. But I don't know why I'm showing it to you because they discontinued this, which if my camera's shaking, it's because there is a dog getting comfortable behind my tripod. But they, Shiseido discontinued this product, and I'm just using it as a hand cream right now because my hands are super dry. But so, I mean, I've seen a couple more of these in TJ Maxx, but if it only takes me about a month to get through this, and this was still relatively expensive for something at TJ Maxx. This was still $17 for this. So I will stick to my less expensive moisturizers that do just as good of a job, but I was just excited to see one of these in store and be able to use that again. I did go through some acne dots, and so this is from Peach Slices. I usually get the CosRX ones, but those have been kind of expensive because I buy the big packs. So I figured I would give Peach Slices, which this is the less expensive part of Peach and Lily. I mean, these were nice, but I still like the CosRX ones more, so I was just happy to be able to try these. You're also able to use like the drugstore side of Ulta coupons on these, so if you're looking for acne dots, I mean, they came, there was 60 of them in here. And how much was this? $7.32. So I got this at a little bit of a discount because it's a weird price. So for $7.32, I was happy to get some acne dots. And then this is a constant repurchase, but I did go through one of my Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliants. I have already repurchased this. I think... No, you'll see it in my buys coming up. But obviously, I used one up, so I needed to repurchase. This thing always leaks everywhere. That is my one critique about this packaging. I don't know what other packaging they could do, but I have other products like, I mean, this is another Empty, and it has the same kind of packaging where it has the little stopper with the hole in the middle, but this always leaks. So not something that I would recommend anybody traveling with, but I love this. I have oily skin, so I need something like salicylic acid to clean my pores out, to keep the congestion in my pores down, to clean that sebum out. I need something like this. So constant repurchase. Since I already flashed this one, this is a toner. This is from Innisfree. This is their balancing toner with green tea. I love the Innisfree toner products, and I'm using an emulsion from them right now as my toner, but it takes me quite a bit to go through this. This is old packaging. They just revamped their packaging twice in the past like 6 months, so I don't know what Innisfree is doing, but they have brand new packaging all over again, which makes me hope that I will see some Innisfree in TJ Maxx, because if they just revamp their packaging, they might send the stuff with the old packaging to TJ Maxx and Marshalls. But Love this stuff. Always have repurchased, but right now I'm using the emulsions. And then last skincare empty is the Holy Hydration Daily Cleanser from e.l.f. I had talked about this in last month's or the months before video about how the cost of this is not necessarily worth it. I mean, it took me, what, a month and a half, 2 months to use this up. This pump is from the BFD cleansing oil. It comes with more of like a squeezy type of flip top, but the pump fits in here perfectly. But I use this up. This is not worth it to me. This came as a free gift last year when I made a big e.l.f. order, but I would not repurchase this because I think, what is this? Oh, $6, and it's gone in about a month and a half. That is too expensive for a cleanser. So those are the skincare empties. The biggest empty category that I have this month is in makeup. And this kind of makes sense because we've had 3 good months of use for the year. So this allows me to get some things rolled out. Let me quickly touch on the things that you guys have already seen as empties in like project pans and stuff like that. So we have the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dew Drops. This was just the mini that came as the birthday gift. I used this up. What I said in my other video is that I enjoyed using it. I ended up starting to use it on my chest and neck rather than my face. It made me get too oily throughout the day. So this was something that I enjoyed as skincare, but not necessarily as a primer anymore. I did use up my Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. What did I say? I got 105 uses total out of this. You guys saw my markings throughout my tracking for my project pan. I really do love the Shiseido complexion products, but I would go back to the regular Synchro Skin, which is the more mattifying one. This one was really great to use during the winter time. Again, I am oily. I live in Florida, so I was chatting with one of you guys in the description box, and you're from Ireland. And so you were saying that like it doesn't really get that hot where you are. And I was like, yeah, my makeup will melt off because in the summertime we stay consistently in the 90s and into the hundreds with our temperatures. So I really needed to be able to get this done before it got too hot. So I was able to meet that goal, and I got it used up before the expiration date. Since this does have SPF in it, I got it done before it expired. So that made me feel good as well. Something I covered in my 24 in 2024, I used up my Soul Body, which is ColourPop's other brand, the bronzing balm, and so this one is totally empty. I told you guys that this one does not do well with like heat and the way that I kind of repress my cream products, and so like the packaging did break apart and it cracks really easy if it gets heated up. So I just have to be really careful about heating this one, but this is an empty. This is number 3 or 4 that I've gone through. Yes, so this is number 3 that I have gone through, and they usually take over 300 uses to use one of these up. I have a new one open in my collection now, so that's number 4, so you guys can definitely tell I do repurchase. This is a Holy Grail product. Love this bronzing balm. And what is it? Like 31 grams of product comes in this, so it lasts forever. I can get this one before it rolls away. This is a sponge from Nakia Joy. There's nothing necessarily wrong with this one apart from like it doesn't clean up that well because it's this light pink color, but it's just not my favorite shape. It is a couple years old. When did I get this? I bought this in 2021, so this is kind of like the backup sponge where if all of my other sponges that I love were dirty, this is what I would use, but it's just, lights are moving. It sits in the bottom of my little jar that I have for my sponges, and it is just time for it to go. I prefer the cut that I have from the DSMD shop where it has a flat edge to it, but I love the Nakia Joy sponges, so I love the texture, but just not the shape of this one, and it is time for that one to go. I did use up one of my sunscreens, so this is the Laneige Hydro UV Defense sunscreen, the SPF 50 plus. I picked up 2 of these at the very beginning of the year for like $6 each from a FabFitFun like flash sale. I used up one of these last year and I really liked it. And again, I live in Florida. We have a lot of sunshine, so I wanted to get these used up. And these do expire at the end of the summer, so I have 2 of them. This is the first one that's empty. I really wanted to get these used up because they do expire. I want that SPF 50 to stay and be active, especially through the summertime. So I hustled and I used this one up. I have been a lot better at taking the sunscreen down my neck and actually behind my neck. I wear my hair up a lot because I actually don't like the feeling of my hair touching my face. And when it gets super hot here too, like having my hair around my neck feels like I'm wearing a scarf. So I wear my hair up a lot. And so I wanted to protect the back of my neck as well. So I have been taking my sunscreen down my neck, onto my chest a little bit, and then also behind. So that helped me get through this. But again, I'm just trying to get through these because I do not want the SPF to expire in them. I still have 4 more empties in makeup to go. So this is one of the Too Faced Hangover RX Bombs. This was the original one that came in the kit. I did have this in a Project 10 uses, and you guys saw all the windowing that I had in there. So I was able to use this up. I scraped everything out that I could, and then when I got to the very, very bottom, I did go ahead and I scraped whatever was left in here, and I just stuck it into the other one and mixed it in. But it was because I couldn't reach anything else with the the dough foot, the applicator. So this one is done. I am going to save this packaging because this packaging is actually really, really good if I wanted to make my own lip gloss or if I get to the point where I want to decant something. So I am going to keep that container. This one you guys saw in my project pan, but I finally used up my Laura Mercier caviar stick in strapless. This was a birthday gift from Sephora 2 years ago, but that is completely empty in there. I dug it out. You guys saw that I put it into another compact and then used it up as much as I could. The last little bits dried up, and I kept adding oil to it to get it to refresh, and it got to the point where it wasn't worth that anymore, and there was so little left that I kind of called it. So love this. This made me fall in love with shadow sticks. It made me buy 2 more shadow sticks. So this was a great product to be able to use. This one you guys also saw in my 24 and 2024, and that is my NYX glitter glue. And I think I told you guys that it was, let me find my thing here, 443 uses on this to get it used up. So, I mean, it is completely gone. I'm really careful with these that as soon as the air bubble gets out of these, I don't let it fill back up with air. And then like I kind of folded it and kept it clipped with a binder clip. So, because I don't want it to be a lot of air in there, and not that it would dry out the product inside of here, I just don't like air bubbles in my products. So I got everything out of here that I absolutely could. But for a 6-month shelf life, I got 443 uses on this one. So that is already a repurchase. I think that is the second one that I have gone through. So definitely a repurchase. This last one is a holy grail product for me, and this is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. So this one is, now I have moisturizer on my hands and it doesn't want to open. There we go. So this one here, there's still a tiny bit of product on there, which makes no sense because I'll tell you guys a little story, but it has this really cool like comb wand on it. And so I really like being able to comb everything through my lashes. But this shouldn't really have any product left in it because I actually did pull out the stopper and like get everything out of this that I could, but the wand was coming out so dry and there was still so much product in this once I puppy on the move. Once I pulled out the stopper on this, you have to be very careful when you're taking it out because the stopper actually wants to push inside the product rather than come out. So I had to be very careful and actually get some like surgical tools that I have I had to get that to get the stopper out of this because the stopper did end up into the product. But I pulled everything that I could out of this one and it is gone. These usually last me about 6 months, and so that's why when Brow Day comes around in October, I typically purchase 2 of these because that means that I will be able to make it through the entire year with the 2 brow gels. I am all about ways of finding your holy grail products, but also saving money by having them last longer. So that is what I am all about. But let me put my items back in my bucket real quick, and then we'll talk about my declutter. So this one item that I am decluttering, I did talk about this in my reflecting video. And goodness, these dogs are bossy with being huffy and moving around today. But this is my ordinary alizac acid 10% suspension. So this was my, like, I loved using alizac acid, and it was really good for my acne spots. It was good for my redness that I have, and I really was enjoying this, but I ended up getting my 15%, which is a prescription strength, so I got that from my dermatologist, and every single time I would use this one again, I felt like I broke out. So I either feel like this has gone bad, or whatever suspension this is, my skin does not respond well to this. But the last time that I used this, I broke out around my mouth and on my chin so badly that I cannot use this anymore. I can't even, like, my brain does not even want to think about putting this on my face again because I am so worried about it just making my skin flare. Now, when I actually opened my new tube of my 15%, and that has been working well. It's actually, which side? It's been helping me get rid of that spot that's right there, which that's actually flat right now because, again, I've been using my pimple patches. That thing popped up because of hormones. It is cystic, so it is under the skin, and that thing hurts. But I've been caking my 15% solution onto it, and it's been helping kind of dry it up and bring it up to the surface. So this has to be a declutter because I cannot put this back on my skin. So if you guys are a big fan of alizac acid, I would say just kind of be aware of when your skin is starting to freak out about certain things, because there has to be something in that formula that my skin does not like. But that is everything that is an empty or that is leaving my collection. So that is super exciting. That is a huge bucket of items. But let me pull up my spreadsheet and tell you guys some numbers. So our total for our empties is $223.17, which again seems like a relatively low number for a bucket that big, but also I got a lot of things that are in there on sale. So, or I was using coupons, whatever it was, but I probably did not pay full price for anything in that bucket. Let me go through my list real quick. Yeah, nothing in that bucket apart from the body oil, which is from Target, and I don't have coupons from Target, but everything apart from that body oil, I got on sale. I did not pay full price for it. So that is how I end up doing really well with that type of savings. But let me grab my items that are over there that are my purchases, and we'll go through those as well. All right, so here are my purchases, which I feel like I felt like I was purchasing a lot, but it really, like, sitting in front of me, it doesn't really look like a lot. I did buy some things during the Ulta semi-annual sale thing, so I do have those purchases as well. But the first purchase that I made for March was my repurchase at Paula's Choice. And so I get all the emails from Paula's Choice. They are always having sales. So don't buy your items from Sephora for Paula's Choice. Just sign up for their emails, and they always are having sales. But what they were doing for that particular sale is they were doing like exfoliating bundles. So I ended up picking up the regular like 2% BHA, and then I also got the 2% BHA body treatment. So I ended up getting one of these as a free gift last year, and I really did enjoy this product. And so when I saw it in a bundle where I think you even got like 20 to 25% off of the already bundled price, I went ahead and I picked up another one. I do use this primarily on my arms and on my chest for my KP. And so these were wonderful to pick up, and both of them were repurchases. Now, of course, Paula's Choice is always throwing in free gifts. So the free gift that I ended up getting is just a mini of the body treatment. So this is the 2% BHA body moisturizer. And so I did end up picking this up as a free gift and a mini. So love that I was able to pick up one of these. I don't do a whole lot of traveling, but again, I'm not going to turn down a free gift of an item that I already know that I love. So these are the 3 things that I ended up getting from Paula's Choice in that first order of the month. The next item, I ended up getting 50% off during the Ulta sale, and I did pick up a backup of my NARS Soft Matte Concealer. I do have a goal to use up my concealer this year, and I already have a good little like finger dent into it, so I picked up a backup because you'll never see this for 50% off unless it's in a sale again, and so I do wear mine in light 2.5, which is creme brulee. This is slightly darker than my skin tone, and I do that on purpose because the slightly darker concealer does a better job at actually concealing my like acne spots and my redness. Instead of highlighting those areas with a really brightening concealer, I want to kind of make them sink back into my skin with a little bit of a shadow. So that's why I get something that is slightly darker than my skin tone. So this one is brand spanking new. Then I didn't save the packaging of this, which shame on me, but I did end up picking up another pack of the Cosrx pimple patches. So I got a 90 count and I found those at TJ Maxx. I did find those for $12.99 compared to, I think they're 19 or 20 something dollars full price, but I'll end up popping a picture of what that packaging looks like. That was already in my Ulta cart ready to purchase, and I was going to use a coupon on it, but I ended up finding a whole pack of those at TJ Maxx, so I picked them up, and they have been working very well, again, to cover my little friend here so I don't pick at it and end up breaking the skin. Because if I go hard on one of my pimples, it'll turn into a full-on bruise and an open sore because I'm a picker. So I have to be very, very careful. So the pimple patches really do save me from doing that and destroying my skin. Did I say, yeah, I got those for $12.99. And then this one, again, it was half price, so $16 for this one. Oh, this next one, which let me grab the other part of it because I have some thoughts. All right, so the amount of times that Andy and I, which I'll have her link down below, she's fast become a YouTube friend, but the amount of times that Andy and I talked back and forth in DMs about this stinking palette. So this is the Ensley Rain Cold Moon palette, and this is what our inside is looking like. It is a cool toned dream with all of those special shades. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. So I will say beautiful, but I have some thoughts because even with, so I did use somebody's discount code on that. So I paid $66.75, but that's actually the first palette that I have purchased so far this year. So I went a whole almost 3 months without purchasing a palette, but that's $15 of shipping. So use somebody's discount code because at least get 15% off or 10% off the price of the palette because you're spending $15 on shipping and I'm in Florida and it came from Oregon. So again, but I'll show you the packaging because I joked with Andy that like I better feel like Indiana Jones opening a crate from a museum if I'm paying $15 for shipping. So if you're new to my buys and buys and my beauty budget, I do not charge myself tax and I do not charge myself shipping. I just charge my beauty budget the cost of the item. Now I have the flexibility in my like income to be able to do that, but if you don't, then hey, charge yourself shipping and stuff and realize that shipping and tax is a lot. But let me just show you guys because and I'm gonna keep one of the flaps open because it has my address on it, so I don't want to show you guys that. But it came in a nice box. It had fragile written on it, all that jazz. And on the inside, it does have like foam and paper and all this stuff. So it was like nice and secure in this box. But as I throw that over there, it's a box in a box. So then it comes in this branded box with the palette like art printed on it. And then again, it has foam inside, so it's nice and secure. So the palette was not moving. So it almost felt like I was like unpacking something from a museum. But I question this, is if the company did not buy the special cartons with the branded image on it, could they charge less for shipping? Because I'm guessing either into the cost of the pallet itself or wrapped into the cost of shipping is the cost for this fancy box that's just going to get thrown away. Like, they could have had this size box with the same foam in it and shipped it this way without the branding and without having to stick it in another box with more foam. Now, of course, I don't run an indie eyeshadow business, so maybe they tried doing that and palettes were still arriving broken. Like, I get that. These are some like fragile shades, but I just wonder how much we're paying for things we're going to throw away. I mean, with a bunch of products, we pay for things we're throwing away. But like, I kind of feel like when you get to the checkout, like I almost took a second thought and was like, do I want this palette enough to pay $15 shipping? And for me, the answer ended up being yes. But I think for many people, when you're already spending $67, close to $80 without a discount code, when you're already spending about $80 for a palette, would you think differently if you had to pay an additional $15 for shipping? But it just, I kept joking that it should be the best packaging job ever for $15. And it was, but I would have rather spent $10 on shipping, maybe $8 on shipping, and not have all the extra stuff that I'm going to end up just throwing away. Or, you know, I'm a millennial in my almost 40s. So I'm going to hang on to all of this and reuse the boxes, because at a certain point, and y'all let me know what age you think this is. At a certain age, when you come across a good box, you hang on to that good box, because one day you might need to ship something and you need that good box. What age do we start saving packaging? The amount of like bubble mailers and like bubble wrap and stuff that I save, just be like, oh, that's really good bubble wrap. We better hang on to that in case we need to ship something. What age does that happen? Y'all, please tell me. But beyond my raving about the packaging and the cost of shipping for this dang palette, the palette is gorgeous. So I have been able to dip my brush into some of these and use some of these shades so far, but the shimmers in here are amazing. So I feel like the palette itself is worth the money that the palette is. This is worth it. The mattes are comparable with Natasha Denona. Like, they're very blendable, they're very soft, they're very creamy, but the shimmers are just a step above, and it's that indie quality that we all know and love. But I used this shade the other day, and it is just stunning. It is like I'm seeing a like rose gold to pink to blue to green. That's what I'm seeing on this shade here. I mean, absolutely stunning. And I mean, that is just one tap in and then one swatch. I have not swatched any more of these. Like, this is the shade Aurora. I am just tapping my finger in there. And look at that pigmentation. So beautiful. Let me wipe my fingers on my pants because that's how we do. Let's see here. This one down here is called Borealis. And Where are you guys going to be able to see? Beautiful. And like I said, I am barely, this one's snow crystal. This one looks so stunning. This one has more of a green shift to it. But let's see, let's put this one right here. Oh, beautiful. Look at those shades. And again, this was me doing like this into the shadow. No rubbing, no nothing like that. I am just tapping into the shadow ever so lightly. So I understand that this palette is kind of fragile. I also appreciate that these are magnetic, so I can pop these out of this packaging if I want to. The packaging is gorgeous. I know there was some like controversy going around about her using AI to create packaging. I could care less. I think that this is beautiful. I don't care that a brand would use AI to create packaging. So this is absolutely stunning. Now, if she has to pay an artist for artwork and then the price of the palette goes up even more, like again, at what point do they price themselves out of their own market and need to utilize things like AI to keep this relatively in a zone where people would think, yeah, I'm willing to pay X amount of dollars? Because if this palette was $100, I would not be purchasing it for $100. So at what point do we price ourselves out of our own market? But I'm also not an artist that relies on commission, so I can't speak to that either. I'm just a consumer. So would I rather buy a print rather than an original? I'd rather buy a print unless it's something that I really, really am saving up for, because art is expensive. So I am loving that palette. I've done a couple looks with it so far, but this is one of those palettes that you can put down any mattes that you want, put one shimmer on the eyes, and it looks like you spent forever on your look because those shimmers are just so dimensional. So wonderful palette. I'm glad that I tried Ensley Rain. The palette's a little bit big. It doesn't fit really good in any of my storage. So again, I wish the palettes were a little bit smaller. These indie brands and these large palettes, which I'll go on a tangent real quick. Were you guys expecting anything less? But the Bella Beauté bar, which again, tongue twister, but that is a woman-owned Florida brand. So I would love to support them. They teased the Secret Garden palette, and I love The Secret Garden. Like the book, I grew up watching the movie from the 90s. Like I love all of that. I actually have a Secret Garden tattoo planned that if I ever go back and get more tattoos, which you guys probably, again, tangent on tangent, but you guys probably see my tattoo all the time. This is from A Wrinkle in Time. And so to go along with that, I do have a Chronicles of Narnia and Secret Garden tattoo already like drawn up. And so if I ever go back and get more tattoos, which I really want to, I will end up finishing like a half sleeve of these books that I grew up with and loved as a child. So with that, like the Secret Garden, like it had me right away, except for the palette is huge. As they have not leaked, but they've shown the inside of the palette and I have no interest in it. It's not my Secret Garden. I don't know. Like, and again, I know it wasn't a collab with the movie or the book or anything like that, but still, like, part of me is like, that's not my Secret Garden. But the palette's too big. And again, they're pricing themselves out of a market because the palette's too big. So they have to charge, you know, $75, $80 something for a palette because there's just too many shades in there. So if it was smaller, I might consider it. Are you getting something out of the kitchen? Because I'm still filming. Potatoes. Babe, I showed them my shirt in the video. I did. Bragged on you. So that was my long drawn out review of purchasing Ensley Rain. Love the product. Again, indie brands with the prices, the size of the palettes, the shipping, all of that. But I get it. Like they have to run a business. They have to be able to make some sort of profit. But the next item, I did also pick this up from Ulta during the sale, and this is the Bobbi Brown Skin Full Cover Concealer, and I picked it up in Cool Ivory. I did go in store and I swatched the shades to make sure to get something that would work for me. Typically, I do get like the ivory shades and I do have a cool undertone, so I figured this would work for me. But I am almost done with my Natasha Denona concealer, so I do not have any other liquid concealers in my collection. So once the Natasha Denona one is done, it is done. I have nothing. So I did want to pick up a concealer. I like the Bobbi Brown complexion products, so I figured I'd give that a try. So at half price, that was $17.50. While I was trying out the shades of the Bobbi Brown concealer, the Ulta and like the TJ Maxx in my area are right next to each other, so I did walk over and kind of peruse the shelves as one does. I swear, them putting a TJ Maxx in my town was the worst possible thing. Like, I've not been into a TJ Maxx so many times in my life until they put one in my town. But what I did find is I found a jumbo of one of the Verb shampoos. So since I always use hair mask as conditioner, I do try to have some sort of shampoo that also has some sort of treatment to it. Right now I have the jumbo of the Verb Ghost shampoo in my shower, and that because it was on sale during the like Ulta jumbo sale, but I picked this one up for $20, which is still less than 50% off the jumbos. And this is the glossy shampoo, so extra hydration, glossy shine, and it's color safe, which is good because I do color my hair. I do need to dye my hair soon. My roots are showing. If it wasn't for my hairline powder, you guys would see all the grays up in there. But for 20 bucks, having another, which I've been using my shampoo from the beginning of the year, so 3 months of use, and I think I'm only this far down on my other shampoo. So I will have shampoo for a long, long time. But I love the Verb brand, and so I was happy to find one of those. And again, it has the red tag, so it was on clearance. So I was happy to find one of those for 20 bucks. Hair care does not go against my budget because I don't have a problem with hair care. I think last year I spent just over $100 in hair care, so I am not worried about that budget. So for 20 bucks, that will last me into next year for shampoos. And the last thing that I ended up picking up for the month, this was also from the Ulta sale, and these are two of the Too Faced Hangover RX Pillow Balms, and I got them both in Banana Kiss. This is my favorite. I used up one of these last year. They typically will put these into one of the 50% off sales, and so I was very happy to get my hands onto these. These are wonderful. I love the formula. I love the scent. I love everything about these. So I am stocked up on banana lip balms, and this makes me so happy. Like, this makes me excited about sitting down in my chair in the morning, putting this on and doing my makeup. Like, those are the types of products we need in our life. So for $11.50 each, I did pick up two of those. So that was everything that I picked up in March. Let me go over some numbers. So far for the year, I have picked up $306.59 in makeup, $158.29 in skincare. I have spent $66.75 on palettes. I do have a separate palette budget this year. And then I have $46 so far in hair care, no perfume so far, and then $83 so far in makeup tools, which that $83 also does not go against my budget. But last month we left off with $60.83 in my beauty bank. I did have 2 paychecks in March, so that was $75 each paycheck. So with the $60 plus the two $75 deposits coming in, I had $210.83 to play with. I did end up spending $187.44 in budgeted items. And so that left my poor beauty bank with $23.39. Didn't I just tell myself that I needed to slow down a little bit? And then I end up having only $23, but we will end up building up that bank again. I have to be very aware of what my restocks are going to be during Black Friday. but definitely I am still doing well with staying in the positive with my beauty banks and only bringing in things that really, really like this palette. I looked at this palette for over, when did it release? Since it released, I have been looking at this palette, looking at videos, looking at swatches, going back, looking at the website, like weighing back and forth if I can put it in my budget. So it took me a long time to finally, quote unquote, pull the trigger on buying this product. And so, like I said, I'm being very mindful about how I'm spending my money and really only buying things that I am going to use, which is this whole mindset that I started this channel about, is using what we have and bringing in things that we want to use or that we need to use. So even though this Bobbi Brown concealer is a new product to me, I've never tried this before, so I am trying something new. It's basically because this is going to be the only concealer I'm going to have in my collection. I don't have a drawer full of concealers that I'm ignoring to use that one. So that is the mindset that I am attempting to have. So I wanted to try to do this every quarter, kind of touch base with you guys with my inventory, and I like to do it after my buys and buys because of course this is when products are coming in and out of my collection. Let me go ahead and get all this out of the way because the last thing I want is my Ensley Rain palette to come crashing to the ground. All right, but I will have my spreadsheet coming up, but we'll do a little bit of a review of my categories. So right now with my inventory, my primers are sitting at, I have 16 primers. All but one are the e.l.f. Jelly Pops, and so you guys would have seen that in my collection tour and my vanity tour. Right now I only have 2 foundations, and they are both getting used and going to be done around the same time. For my mixers, those are my e.l.f. Halo Glow items, so I only have 2 in that category. My powders, I have quite a few in this category, but again, it's my holy grail, which is my Nakia Joy. I do have 8 powders right now in my collection. For concealers, right now I do have 5 concealers, but again, my Natasha Denona one is about to be used up, and so I needed that new liquid concealer to come in. In my sunscreens, I only have 4, so we're doing really good in that category. Brows right now, I have 5 products. I typically go through 6 or 7 brow products, so I'm on par to be able to use up all of these brow products this year. For bronzers, right now I have 5 bronzers in my collection. I have, let's see here, 4 powders and 1 cream. And so I want to try to keep it to like 1 cream just because I don't want my creams to go bad. For blushes, this one keeps fluctuating a little bit because I did franken my blushes and repress some of my blushes, and I created the new pan of cream blush, which you guys by now should have already seen my cream blush repressing, which I'm probably going to film an outro and an intro in the same makeup for that video, so you'll see me again in that one. But I have 22 blushes with having the extra cream blush that I created and some frankening that I did. For highlighters, I currently have 5. That is my 4 pans in my Tarte highlighting palette and my Becca Moonstone. So those are my 5. For setting sprays, right now I have 7. They are all either the e.l.f. or the Gerard Cosmetics ones. For lip products, I do have 16. So I am still on track to be able to use up about 10, 11, or 12 lip products this year, so I'm not worried about that number. I do currently have 2 lip liners. I have 4 mascaras. I have 2 open right now and 2 in backup. For my eyeliners, this exploded a little bit, but it's because I fell in love with shadow sticks that I'm using as eyeliners, but I do have 22 of those. I was able to use up 2 of them in the first quarter. So I have 3 eye primers because I used up my glitter glue. My eyeshadows, let's see here, I have 69 eyeshadow products. Now this does include my single potted shadows and my liquid shadow, but I have 69 eyeshadow products. Let's see, does this include... No, it does not. All right, you guys will have to wait until next buys and buys to see what I picked up in April. But 69 eyeshadow products. I do have 7 products in my daytime moisturizers. I have 13 items in my daytime skincare, which one of you guys asked about a skincare video, and I do have some open space in my calendar. Like I post, you guys know I have like a posting schedule. I do have one date that I just had like video idea, like what can I do for this day? So that actually gave me a really good idea that I can do a skincare video for you guys. So I'll be able to go more in depth about the items that I'm using, but I have 13 items in my skincare. In my nighttime skincare, I have 16 products. In my body care, I have 10 products. In my hair care, I have 8 products. In my perfumes, I have 10. And nail polishes, like I said, I'm tracking these things, but I have 18 nail polishes and I have 14. This is my beauty tools, which I'm keeping track of my sponges. I do have 14 sponges. What is it, like 6 that I'm using, and the rest of them are kind of in backup waiting to get used. So that is kind of a rundown of my items. I'll make sure to have my spreadsheet pop up so you guys can see the numbers that I'm talking about. And I am just super thrilled with where my inventory is. All right, so overall on my numbers, we started the year with the 249. I've had to adjust that number a little bit if you guys saw my inventory video because I have created blushes. So that number has changed a little bit. So we started the year with 249 products. And let's see here, I panned 34 items, I decluttered 2, and then I have purchased 49. So I did quite a bit of purchasing, but I also, that is the 11 e.l.f. primers that I picked up at the beginning of the year. So overall, I am at a plus 13. So I'm up 13 products from the beginning of the year. So we do have 261 items rolling into the next quarter of the year. So probably not where I want to start, but again, I picked up that 11 e.l.f. products. Everything else, I picked up 4 moisturizers. Were my big categories. I picked 9 things up in my nighttime skincare, but all of my Paula's Choice stuff, including like I think the weightless body moisturizer with the 2% BHA, that's in my nighttime skincare because even though it's body care, I only use it at night. I don't wear that and go out in the sun. So that is maybe in the wrong category and I'll have to fix that later, but that is why that category is so high. But we are up products, but still using up 34 products in the first quarter. I'm very happy with that. I'm happy with my numbers, and we will continue to see these fall throughout the year. But that was my buys and buys for March, and also a recap on how I'm doing during the first quarter of 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing a peek into my beauty budget and how I'm tracking things. I always do have the link down below to my spreadsheets. I converted my spreadsheets into like a Google Drive, and so you guys are more than welcome to copy and paste those spreadsheets into your own program. All of the formulas should already be in there. So I hope that you guys are finding that helpful with tracking your products as well. But you guys know here is the point in the video where I'm going to ask you guys to do all the things. Make sure to hit a thumbs up on this video. Make sure to subscribe for more conscious consumerism, Project Pan, beauty budgeting, puppy dogs, eyeshadow, all of that jazz.
And all that jazz.
You guys, I should not be allowed to edit at midnight because then you guys get cuts like that in here. And for all of you guys saying that my skin looks so good, makeup is the real hero and so is good lighting. But back to the video, I just had to come in here and just say I'm having so much fun with the little cuts. Okay, back to the video.
Make sure to subscribe for more. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this very long video. Right now it looks like I have been recording for over an hour, so we'll see what I edit this down to. But I hope that you guys enjoyed. I always love our conversations down below. You guys have been so responsive and helping guide me with my Project Pan and with my reflecting videos and letting me know how you guys are doing. I am loving it, and you guys are helping to guide me to put out things on my channel that you guys want to see and want to hear about. So keep it up. I appreciate all of you guys. But I'm going to keep on tracking. I'm going to go ahead and get all of these items in their respected areas where I store my beauty trash for the end of the year. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful day, and I will catch you in my next one.